Like, people think I knock Dak Prescott because I get joy in it. Nah, I'm up here wearing my blue and my gray slacks. You can't see it, but I'm in my Cowboys colors today. I was born and raised in Dallas. I want to see the Cowboys win. What I won't do is lower my expectations and lower the bar so that Dak Prescott can meet it. That's what I won't do, and that's all I've said this whole time. Dak Prescott, he's 13-3 against the Giants and the Washington football team. He's 28-22 against everybody else. Dak Prescott is 9-14 against playoff teams. Okay, that is the problem with Dak Prescott is you've shown me you can win, but you haven't shown me that you can beat very good teams. You haven't shown me you can beat playoff teams. You haven't shown me you can win multiple playoff games in one playoff run. I just need to see Dak beat competent, competitive, legitimized teams. I'm not making this up, Marcellus. I'm not making this up, world. Again, Dak Prescott, he won 8 games last year. He beat the Giants twice. He beat the football team twice. He beat the Dolphins. He beat the Eagles. He beat the Rams. Dak Prescott only beat one playoff team last year. And the reason they made the playoffs, the Eagles, is because they beat the Cowboys when it mattered most. So, Marcellus, if Dak wins this game, yes, I'm all in. I don't need the life raft. Throw it out. I don't need the parachute. I'm not pulling it. If Dak Prescott beats the Seahawks, I'm all in. Jerry Jones, cut the check.
I can't believe that you just told me you're not going to lower your expectations.
I can't do it.
To this level, which you have lowered them to.
What's that?
They already are all in on Dak Prescott. He's making $31 million for 1 year. And then next year, if they want to play these games again and roll the dice, he's making $37 million a year. He's on pace, and I've told you this 1,000 times, to double what Patrick Mahomes is going to make in the next 3 years. And according to you, he's not even half as good as Patrick Mahomes. That sounds like leverage. Yes, he has all the leverage. Yes, they're all in on Dallas. But the lower expectations element is really difficult to absorb because you're the same guy that tells me Dak needs to win. And I thought you meant in the playoffs. I thought you meant a Super Bowl. You keep bringing up how there's a drought in Dallas in terms of titles. You were a little infant before when they last won a title, right? But now, Acho comes up here because he's not fully dressed and fully prepared, it seems like, and now lowers his expectations all the way to week 3 against the Seattle Seahawks on the road. Oh, if you beat the Seattle Seahawks, who beat the Falcons and beat the Patriots by a yard. Now, that's the most impressive thing you could do, and that should convince Jerry and Steven. You should be all in on Dak Prescott. How did you lower your expectations to week 3?
Marcellus, how dare you just say the Seahawks beat the Patriots by a yard?
By a yard.
Because the Patriots beat the Seahawks by a yard in the biggest game of Russell Wilson's life.
Different teams.
The Super Bowl.
Different teams.
Okay, but anyway, let me get back on track. The reason I'm going to be all in is very simple. We've seen this movie before. You played for this franchise. You played for the Cowboys. Now, you played before Romo got there, but Tony Romo...
No, he was my boy.
Wait, was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was 4th string.
So you get it. You understand Romo. Romo's beloved. Beloved. I love Tony Romo. Romo was the quarterback when I was a high school student when I first fell in love with football. But Tony Romo is the same person as Dak. 3 Pro Bowls in his first 4 years. Dak has 2. 1 playoff appearance in his first 4 years. Dak, similar run, similar trajectory. But more importantly than this, because I took a deep dive in the notes today, Cowboys fans, rock with me. Tony Romo, 16-26 versus playoff teams. That's a 38% winning percentage. Dak Prescott, currently 9-14. That's a 39% winning percentage against playoff teams. Cowboys fans, y'all saw this before. Y'all love Romo. I love Romo. Romo was great. What did Romo do for you? When you sit back and you remove your emotional bias from it, because I've had to do that. Man, Romo, the backwards hat, he was so cool. The number, the escape in the play, the smile, the other family, man, it was all so cute. But when you remove all the layers, Marcellus, and you get to the facts and you get rid of your feelings, you go, wait a second. Romo ain't with me but a couple playoff games? Romo, you played for a decade and you ain't with me but a couple. So Jerry Jones is saying, Dak, I've seen this before. And in all honesty, I liked Romo a little bit better, if I'm being honest. I paid him.
I gave him that money, didn't I?
I did. And I made that mistake.
I don't argue.
And I made that mistake. So, Marcellus, Dak, the Cowboys have seen this before. They've seen a quarterback that is above average but can't win big games, can't beat playoff teams. They're not going to make the mistake. If Dak can beat Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, clearly a playoff team, a dominant team, then that's all you need to know. That's all I need to know.
Oh, man, you made such a strong argument. It's misplaced in this conversation. You said, I need you, Dak, to win the big games.
That's it.
I agree. Week 3 against Seattle ain't no big game like that, bruh, compared to what Dak has already done in his career. He's won 13 regular season games before. So if you really want to see a Week 3 win, look in his resume. But you're trying to make it seem like there needs to be something done that has not been done by Dak. Yes, I agree with that. But that does not happen against this Seattle team with the worst defense. You're going to move the goalposts on Monday. This is what's going to happen. Here's Emmanuel Acho. Let me look like him right now, all right? Bring my hairline down a little bit. Rough up the eyebrows. I don't know what's going on up here. Okay, you know what? This is what he always does, golf claps. Good job, Dak Prescott. Amazing. You beat the worst defense in the NFL in the Seattle Seahawks. But what we need from you is a big win. And you're going to move the goalposts again to a playoff win. Dak is just trying to get this team in the NFC least, as you call it, to the playoffs where he can make some magic. Week 3 wins against Seattle, big dog. I love you too much. I just don't see how that moves the meter.
Marcellus, the Week 3 win against the Seahawks is your first real litmus test. The Falcons are not a good football team. They weren't last year. They didn't make any margin.
They finished strong, but I give you that.
They didn't make any substantial changes on the field this year.
No.
The Cowboys had to come back from a crazy deficit to win that. Kudos to the Cowboys. Cowboys' first game, they lost to the Rams. The Rams are the third best team in that division. Like, I'm not convinced that the Rams are yet a playoff team.
Okay.
And so they're a wild card team. You still got the Cardinals and you got the Seahawks in that division. So the Cowboys, Dak, I need a litmus test, Marcellus.
You know what? I'm glad you need some convincing. And I'm tired of just talking to a wall that ain't going to listen to me. But we're going to bring in somebody who may settle the score.
What up, LA?
Fox NFL analyst LeVar Arrington. LeVar, should the Cowboys be all in on Dak if he beats Russell Wilson in Week 3 in Seattle on the road?
No, because they already should be. And here's the point. After I shed my jacket to look at taking care of my little brother, I ain't gonna let big brother pick on baby bro. So I'm gonna take my jacket off too. We're gonna go no jacket Friday. Here's the reason why. You moved the goalpost a little bit, Marcellus.
Oh, come on,
I'm gonna tell you why you moved the goalpost. I'm gonna tell you why.
You need to move your light.
The premise of the question is based around what the Dallas Cowboys intend to do with Dak Prescott long term. Okay. So to say that they're already bought in and they're already on board with Dak Prescott based upon what that franchise tag represents is misleading. And you're smart enough to do that, and people aren't going to catch on to that. So I just figured I'd call that out since you be throwing Acho under the bus all the time. Here's the point. Here's the point. Dak Prescott, if he hasn't already got them to be all in where they're planning on giving him the contract that is even between the two sides, then Dak is going to have to prove throughout the entire season.
That's a word.
Listen, they don't have a whole lot of big games, but the few that they do, Dak is going to have to win. Seattle is going to have to win against, Dak's going to have to win against Seattle.
Talk to him.
Dak is going to have to win against Baltimore Ravens.
Yes, sir.
He's going to have to win against the Steelers.
Yes,
He's going to have to win against these top teams if they're not already in on Dak Prescott.
May I?
Of course, always, but what?
No. Look, what LeVar is saying makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Marcellus is trying to act as though the Cowboys are all in because of how much Dak Prescott is making this year. $31 million on the tag. But Dak Prescott's making that $31 million based on what other quarterbacks are being paid. The franchise tag isn't what the Cowboys dictated to pay Dak Prescott. The franchise tag says you have to make the average of the top number.
And we're not ready to give you that big contract.
If the franchise tag, Marcellus, allotted Dak Prescott made $15 million, how much would Dak make this year? $15 million. The Cowboys are paying Dak Prescott a certain number, not because they wanted to, not because they're in love with him, not because they're committed to him, because the NFL regulations stipulate based on the tag how much Dak is going to make.
Go ahead, Acho.
Stop trying to skew. No, he's not even trying to skew this. I don't know if you've been seeing LeVar. Marcellus been cooking the books. He's cooking the books. Stop cooking them.
Okay, tell me if I'm cooking the books. You keep saying they're hiding behind the regulation of the NFL and the NFLPA stipulating that you got to get an average salary of the top 5 quarterbacks at the position, which was the letter of the law, right? Well, why in the hell did they already offer him and he tore up the contract 5 years at $35 million per year.
He doesn't feel like that's all in.
He didn't accept it.
He doesn't feel like that's all in.
Excuse me?
Whatever the truth of the offer is, Dak and his people did not feel as though that's an
You're
all-in
making my
offer
point.
from
My
Dallas.
point was 31 ain't
That's
his
why it's a
ceiling.
negotiation.
31 is his floor, and he's laughing at you. All right, this is the problem I have. I'm a late bloomer.
What problem?
I'm a late bloomer, and I'm right now talking on a show. Let's see all of these guys in the box. I want everyone to take a notice of who I am.
They came to see me.
I am here listening to you guys talk about a week 3 win, how huge it is. Like we in some power ranking BCS mindset.
I didn't say that. Hold on now.
Okay.
Don't put me in that box.
Okay.
I did not say that.
Okay.
I said if they're
get rid
not
of
in
LeVar's
on him
box. Get rid of
yet.
LeVar's box.
If they're not in on him yet, he better win all them big games.
You co-signed the lease that said he needs some big wins because they don't have a lot of big games on their schedule.
He does.
That's a
Yes, he
BCS power ranking mindset. But I excuse both of you guys.
You know nothing about that. You know nothing about
That's my
BCS
point.
power ranking.
I am doing a show.
So don't come into that conversation, Mr. Marcellus.
I'm not. I'm actually about to give you a compliment after I give you a backhanded one.
Yeah.
You
I know it's
guys
backhanded.
are
That's why I'm
two
saying it right
guys
now.
who were best in college. That's why your mindsets are stuck in college. I
got
wasn't the
just
best
as
in
many
college.
Pro
I
Bowls
kept
as you,
growing and
Playboy.
kept going to realize.
I think I got more Pro Bowls than you, Playboy.
Hey, you had a bigger name too. They voted me in 3 times too. You just was starting and I was hurt. Here's the thing. You didn't make more money than me. Here's the thing. Right now, if you got
you better
the
look at them
mindset
contracts. You better look at them
of
contracts.
week 3 is
pull 'em
big,
up.
you still in college. Because in the NFL, all they do at the end of 16, 17 weeks, they say, how many did you win? They don't give a damn. Then they hit a hard reset button and you enter into the playoffs. You guys got to leave your best days behind you. You sound a real Al Bundy up here with arguments that are BCS.
Honestly, I'm still blooming. Okay, my best days are honestly still far ahead of me,
right.
Mr.